I want you to do something for me right now. I want you to just picture a room.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be anything special. Maybe it's a coffee shop or, a meeting room at work, even your living room.
Just a normal everyday scene.
Exactly. Now picture 3 adults in that room. Just 3 people. They look healthy, they're laughing, scrolling through their phones. They look absolutely fine.
Mundane.
Mundane. But here's the thing that just stopped me cold when I was reading the research you sent over. Statistically, based on the data we have right in front of us,
Right.
one of those 3 people is walking around with a ticking time bomb inside their body.
And they don't know it.
They almost certainly have absolutely no idea.
It really makes you look at the world differently, doesn't it? When you know the numbers.
It really does. The number is 1 in 3. 1 in 3 American adults is currently at risk for kidney disease. I mean, that is a massive slice of the population.
It's staggering.
So if you're sitting in a room with 2 other people, one of you is in the danger zone.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today.
Yeah.
It's for National Kidney Month coming up in March, and the sources all describe this as a silent epidemic. And that word silent is doing a lot of work there.
It's the silence that's the real problem. Usually when something's wrong with your body, it screams at you. You get a fever, you break a bone, you cough. But with this, you feel fine, you look fine. But underneath the hood, the engine is starting to struggle.
That's the crux of it. The kidney is incredibly resilient, which is, well, it's both a blessing and a curse. It'll keep working without any complaint until it's almost completely destroyed.
So by the time it starts screaming...
The damage is often irreversible.
And that leads us to the big question of this whole episode, really. The Campaign for National Kidney Month asks a very simple, very direct question. Are you? Are you the 1 in 3?
It's a provocative question.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be. It's meant to shake you out of that complacency of, oh, I feel fine, so I must be fine.
Well, it worked on me. I'll be honest, usually when these health awareness months come up, we kind of know the drill. It can feel a little routine. But the material we're looking at today, specifically these notes on vital defense, it just feels different. It feels urgent.
It is urgent because the window for prevention is often open right now, today. But that window closes once the damage is done. And the sources we have, they emphasize that this isn't about generic wellness advice. We're not just going to tell you to drink more water without explaining why.
Exactly. That's why we're framing this deep dive as a masterclass. We are going to strip away the jargon. I want to understand mechanics. We're going to look at the kidney like a high-performance engine.
I love that approach.
We want to understand why it fails, and more importantly, how we can physically, mechanically protect it.
Because when you understand the mechanism, when you understand that high blood pressure isn't just a number, but a physical force acting on a delicate filter, that's when you really change your behavior.
That's the vital defense the source talks about, knowledge. So let's get into it. The nitty-gritty of nephrons, the chemistry of blood, and this power wash effect that might be happening inside you right now. But before we get to the damage, we have to understand what we're actually trying to protect.
Right. You can't fix the engine if you don't even know what it does.
And I'll be honest, before reading this, if you asked me what kidneys do, I would say they make urine. End of list. Maybe they filter stuff. But wow, they are doing so much more than just taking out the trash.
It's a really common misconception. We think of them as, a simple plumbing system, a drain. But they're actually a highly sophisticated chemical processing plant. They are the master chemists of the entire body.
Master chemists.
If your kidneys shut down, the whole chemical balance of your body just collapses within days.
Okay, so let's break down the 5 primary functions from the source material, because making urine is just the end result. The first one is obviously waste removal, but let's be specific. What waste are we talking about?
So think of your blood as this busy highway. It's carrying oxygen and nutrients, but it's also picking up trash along the way.
The exhaust from our cells.
Exactly. Metabolic waste, byproducts of digestion. We're talking about things like urea and creatinine. These are nitrogen-based compounds that are basically the exhaust fumes of your cells doing their job.
And if that exhaust stays in the garage, if it stays in the blood...
It becomes neurotoxic. It literally poisons your brain and your nervous system.
Yeah.
So the kidney's job is to scan every drop of blood filtrant, something like 30 to 40 times a day, and pull out these specific toxins.
It filters our entire blood volume 40 times a day.
Roughly, yes. It's processing about 180 liters of fluid every single day. I mean, it is an industrial workload.
That's incredible. It's like a bouncer at a club, but doing it for thousands of people every second.
A very, very strict bouncer. And that's just function number one. Function number two is fluid balance. This is huge for anyone who's ever felt bloated or, dehydrated.
This is the Goldilocks function, right? Not too much water, not too little.
Precisely. The kidney is constantly sensing the concentration of your blood. It's literally tasting it to check the saltiness. If you drink a huge amount of water, the kidneys shift gears to dump the excess. If you're dehydrated, they clamp down.
They hold on to the water.
They hold on to every last drop to keep your blood pressure from crashing. That's why your urine gets dark. That's your kidney in emergency preservation mode.
Okay, which leads right into function number 3, and this one really surprised me. Blood pressure regulation. I always thought that was the heart's job. But the kidneys are actually pulling the strings.
This is where it gets fascinating.
Yeah.
The heart provides the pump, sure, but the kidneys control the volume of the fluid and the constriction of the pipes.
How does a little bean-shaped organ control the pipes?
Well, first they manage salt levels, and we know salt holds water, which increases volume and pressure. But they also produce hormones, specifically one called renin.
Renin, okay.
And that hormone literally tells your blood vessels to tighten up or relax.
So my kidneys are the thermostat for my blood pressure.
They're the command center. If your pressure drops too low, the kidneys release hormones to boost it. If it's too high, they try to flush out fluid to lower it. This is why kidney disease and high blood pressure are so tightly linked. It's this dangerous feedback loop.
Wow. Okay, we're definitely coming back to that. But let's hit function 4, electrolyte management. We hear about electrolytes in sports drink, ads, sodium, potassium. But why do the kidneys care about Gatorade?
Well, it's not about the sports drink. It's about electricity. Your heart beats because of electrical impulses. Your nerves fire because of electricity. That electricity is generated by the precise balance of ions like sodium and potassium moving across cell membranes.
So it's about keeping the lights on.
It's about keeping the rhythm. If your potassium gets too high or too low, your heart can literally stop beating.
Whoa.
We call it cardiac arrest. The kidneys ensure that balance is perfect down to the molecule. They decide exactly how much potassium to keep and how much to get rid of.
So if my kidneys fail, my heart might just stop.
Yes. In acute kidney failure, the thing that often kills the patient first isn't the toxins, it's a potassium spike that stops the heart.
Okay, my respect for this organ just went up about 1,000%. They're not just making pee, they're keeping my heart beating.
Absolutely. And finally, number 5, hormone production. We mentioned the blood pressure hormones, but they also make a hormone called erythropoietin. You might know it as EPO.
EPO, isn't that the stuff cyclists use to cheat?
It is, but your body makes it naturally. It tells your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. It senses oxygen levels, and if they're low, the kidney sends out the signal, we need more blood.
So if your kidneys are damaged, you often become anemic.
Exactly, because the signal is lost. The bone marrow never gets the memo. They also activate vitamin D, which is essential for bone health. Without the kidney flipping that switch, your bones can't absorb calcium.
Okay, let's recap this silent engine. We have a waste plant, a fluid regulator, a blood pressure command center, an electrical grid manager, and a hormone factory.
All packed into 2 organs the size of your fist. It's remarkable engineering. But here's the catch, and this is where we get to the scary part. Because they do so much, they're incredibly vulnerable.
Right. And you don't get a check engine light until the damage is severe. So we need to talk about how we break this machine.
We do. And this is where we have to understand the mechanics of the damage.
So let's zoom in on the filter itself. The source mentions these things called nephrons. What exactly is a nephron?
So the kidney isn't one big sponge. It's actually made of about 1 million microscopic filtering units. Those are the nephrons. Each one has a tiny little blood vessel and a tube. It's the actual site where blood gets cleaned.
Millions of tiny strainers.
Exactly. Millions. And here's the most important part. You are born with all the nephrons you will ever have. You don't grow new ones.
So it's like a bank account.
It is. You start with $1 million. Every time one gets damaged, you lose $1. And you can never, ever make a deposit. You only make withdrawals.
That puts a ton of pressure on preservation.
It does. And that's where we get to the 3 big mechanisms of damage from the notes. The power wash, the chemical irritant, and the overwork.
Let's start with the power wash. This is the analogy for high blood pressure. Walk us through it.
Okay, imagine a garden hose. You turn the water on gently, it flows out, everything is fine. That's normal blood pressure.
Right.
Now imagine you hook that same hose up to a fire hydrant and you crank it to maximum.
You're blasting water through it.
With incredible force. That is high blood pressure. Now remember those delicate microscopic nephrons?
They're getting hammered.
They are getting hammered. High blood pressure turns your blood flow into a power washer. It just slams against the fragile walls of these tiny filters. And over time, that physical force causes microtears.
And the body tries to heal those tears.
It does, but it heals them with scar tissue. And here's the key. Scar tissue doesn't filter. It's like putting duct tape over a screen door. The more scars you have, the fewer working filters you have left.
And if you lose enough filters,
The remaining ones have to work even harder, which raises the pressure inside them, which causes them to fail even faster. It's a downward spiral. And eventually, you just don't have enough filters left to clean the blood.
that's kidney failure.
That is kidney failure. It's mechanical damage. And the worst part is, you can't feel it happening. Your kidneys don't have pain receptors there. You don't feel the scarring.
Okay, that's mechanism 1, the power wash. Let's move to mechanism 2, the chemical irritant. This is about high blood sugar and diabetes.
Right. Diabetes is the #1 cause of kidney failure, and here is exactly why. Imagine pouring syrup into that garden hose instead of water.
It's sticky, it's thick.
Exactly. High glucose makes the blood chemically aggressive. It acts as an irritant to the lining of the blood vessels. But in the kidneys, that sugar actually reacts with the proteins in the filter itself.
The source mentions this causes leakage. How?
Think of the filter like a very fine mesh. It's supposed to keep big things, like protein, inside the blood. The chemical irritation from the sugar, it actually damages the integrity of that mesh. It sort of corrodes it. The holes get bigger.
Oh, I see. So things that shouldn't fit through start slipping out.
Precisely. Suddenly, vital proteins start slipping through those bigger holes and end up in your urine. That's why one of the very first signs of kidney damage is protein in the urine. It's a sign your filters are leaking.
So if high blood pressure is like a power washer, high blood sugar is like acid corroding the filter.
That is a perfect analogy, and a lot of people have both. So you're corroding the filter and blasting it with the power washer at the same time.
Terrifying. But it makes the why so much clearer. It's not just sugar is bad, it's sugar is literally dissolving my filters.
Yes, it turns a biology problem into a structural engineering problem.
Okay, mechanism 3, the overwork. This is about salt. Mechanistically, what is salt doing?
Salt is a sponge. Sodium holds on to water. So if you eat a high-salt diet, your body holds on to excess fluid to dilute all that salt.
Right, so I'm retaining water, I feel bloated.
But inside your blood vessels, that extra water means extra volume. You physically have more blood pumping through your veins,
More traffic on the highway.
more traffic and heavier traffic. This raises the blood pressure, back to the power wash, but it also just physically overworks the kidneys. They have to process a much higher volume of fluid. It's like asking the engine to run at 7,000 RPM constantly.
You're just working overtime all the time.
And just like any machine that runs at redline for too long, it wears out faster. The parts degrade. You're accelerating the aging process of the organ.
Wow. So we have the power wash from pressure, the chemical irritant from sugar, and the overwork from salt.
And all three are directly tied to our lifestyle, to what we eat and how we manage our health. This isn't just bad luck, it's physics and chemistry.
Which brings us to that aha moment. These lifestyle changes aren't arbitrary rules. They are mechanical adjustments. Lower your blood pressure, you're turning down the power washer.
Exactly. Control your sugar, you're stopping the corrosion, you are shifting from a state of destruction to a state of preservation. And preservation is the only game in town.
So now we know how it happens. Let's figure out who is at risk, that 1 in 3 number. How does the listener know if that's them?
Okay, this is the checklist part. I want everyone listening to really check these boxes. The primary drivers, the big two, are diabetes and high blood pressure.
The 2 we just talked about.
If you have either of those diagnoses, or even prediabetes or prehypertension, you are automatically at risk. Then there's heart disease.
The heart and kidneys are linked.
Inextricably. We call it cardiorenal syndrome. If the heart is sick, the kidneys suffer, and vice versa. And then there's family history. If a parent or sibling has kidney failure, your risk shoots way up.
Okay, those are the big ones. What about the secondary factors? Age, obesity, smoking.
Age is simple wear and tear. Over 60, your filtration rate just naturally slows down a bit. Obesity puts a huge metabolic stress on the body and often leads to the other problems. And smoking, well, smoking just damages every blood vessel in your body.
So the reality check here is, if you're listening and you have high blood pressure, even if you take a pill for it or your sugar is just a little high, you are the 1 in 3.
You are. And that's not to scare you into paralysis. It's meant to wake you up.
Yeah.
Because knowing you're at risk now is the vital defense. If you wait until you feel sick,
It's too late.
often, yes, You can't regrow a filter.
Okay, let's pivot. We've done the scary part. Let's empower people. We have a prevention protocol. How do we protect the engine?
This is the actionable part. This is how you make the engine last. Let's start with flow and chemistry.
And number one is hydration. Why does drinking water mechanically help?
Think about pouring sludge through a strainer versus pouring water. When you're dehydrated, your blood is more concentrated. It's thicker.
Yeah.
It's harder for the kidneys to push it through the filters and pull out the toxins.
So drinking water is like thinning the oil in your car.
It creates a solvent. It allows the toxins to dissolve easily and flush right out. It keeps the flow smooth. It's the simplest, most effective thing you can do to help your kidneys.
Okay, next in flow and chemistry is a hidden danger. NSAIDs, ibuprofen, naproxen. The stuff we all take for headaches. Why are these a problem?
This one is so important. NSAIDs work by blocking certain enzymes to reduce inflammation. The problem is, those same enzymes are responsible for keeping the blood vessels going into the kidney wide open.
Wait, so when I take an ibuprofen, I'm actually constricting the blood flow to my kidneys.
You are. It's like stepping on the garden hose. You're kinking the line.
So the kidney is suddenly getting less blood and less oxygen.
Exactly. Now, if you're young and healthy and take one once in a while, it's fine. But if you're in that 1 in 3 risk group and you take them every day for chronic pain, you are constantly choking off the blood supply to your filters.
Wow. Okay, so the action here is to limit them. Talk to your doctor.
100%. Don't just pop them like candy.
Yeah.
And the third part of flow and chemistry is smoking, which is the same mechanism, really.
It starves the engine.
It starves the engine. It hardens the arteries and constricts them. It slows blood flow to every organ, including the kidneys.
Okay, so that's flow and chemistry. Now for systemic management. Number one on the list, blood pressure control.
There is no debate. This is the single most important thing you can do. You have to control your blood pressure. It stops the power wash. Taking your blood pressure medication is putting a blast shield up for your kidneys.
And right behind that is blood sugar management.
Same logic. It stops the chemical corrosion.
Yeah.
And then finally, activity, moving your body.
The universal medicine.
It lowers blood pressure. It helps control blood sugar. It helps with weight. It treats all the root causes.
But there's one last piece here, clinical screening. Because you can't feel this happening.
You cannot. You can lose 90% of your kidney function before you feel sick. You have to get tested if you're in the risk group.
What are the tests? The notes say GFR and UACR.
Okay, GFR is the glomerular filtration rate. It's a blood test that estimates your kidney function as a percentage. It's your score.
So GFR is how fast is the engine running?
Exactly. And UACR is a urine test. It looks for that protein, albumin. Remember the leaky filter?
The protein escaping through the corroded mesh.
This test catches that leak. It is the early warning system. Even if your GFR is still okay, protein in the urine means the damage has started.
So if you're the 1 in 3, you need to specifically ask your doctor, what is my GFR and do I have protein in my urine?
Be your own advocate. Ask for the numbers.
This has been, wow. We've really taken this engine apart. The kidney isn't just a filter, it's this master regulator.
It is the unsung hero of the body.
And it's under attack from pressure, sugar, salt, smoking.
Ooh,
But we have the defense manual. We know how to protect it.
it's all within our control.
I want to leave with this final thought that really struck me. We spend so much time worrying about our hearts, our brains, but the kidney is the foundation that lets those other organs work.
It's true.
The source says knowledge is a vital defense. What if we treated our kidneys with the same respect, the same care we treat our hearts? How much chronic disease could we just wipe out before it even starts?
A tremendous amount.
Right.
If you save the kidney, you save the entire system.
That's the mission then. Save the engine.
Absolutely.
Thank you. This was a true masterclass.
My pleasure.
And to you listening, share this. Ask someone you care about. Hey, are you the 1 in 3? It might be the most important question you ask all month.
It really might be.
Take care of your engines, everyone. We'll see you in the next deep dive.